Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Michigan Mortgage Cast, our last one of 2020, and we will definitely get a schedule out for 2021 as we break into the new year. Today, I'm very happy to have two special guests with us today, Dan Elsey, President of Real Estate One Brokerage, and Stuart Elsey, President of Financial Services for the Real Estate One family of companies. Welcome to you both.
Good to be on. Good
to see you. And happy holidays. So today we wanted to talk about housing and economic news, both what happened in 2020 and what's happening currently and what the forecasts are for 21. So Dan, let's start with you. If you could just give us kind of an overall outlook of the current state of the housing market, kind of what we've seen and what we're currently in right now.
Well, the housing market has been very strong. It's probably one of the strongest segments in the economy right now. So if you're looking to buy or sell, particularly if you're looking to buy, you've probably been a little frustrated that it doesn't seem like there's a lot to buy. And inventories are down. Inventories are actually at record low levels in terms of available homes for sale right now. So that's a challenge for buyers. It's great for sellers. So we're clearly in a seller's market, and we figure that's going to be there for a while. But it's a very strong market, and it's a combination of low supply and high demand. Put those two together, and you create properties where values are rising and great activity across all price ranges.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. So Stuart, help us out from an economic standpoint. You know, we've heard and have witnessed and you know, a lot of slowdowns, a lot of shutdowns of some industries. And based on what Dan's saying, the housing market has never been stronger. Why and how is that from the standpoint of all the economic news we've had?
Yes, Larry, no question that this pandemic and resulting recession has not been equal to all segments. Housing has done very well. I think that with the pandemic, there's been more focused on the home. Home ownership rates have actually gone up this year to 67%, which is the highest it's been since the Great Recession. You know, I think that work from home has caused people to reassess their housing. Perhaps they don't need to live, you know, be tethered to where they work and have a short commute. If they're working from home, and even after the pandemic, most businesses are probably going to allow their employees to at least spend some of their work days at home. So the commute becomes less important. People can move and live where they want to live, not necessarily where they have to live relative to work. And you know, they're assessing their needs. Maybe they want a home office. Maybe they want a home gym. Maybe they want, with homeschooling, maybe they want more property for their kids. So there's been a lot more focus on home ownership. And I'm sure the home improvement companies have done well as also. I think anything related to the home seems to have done very well this year.
Yeah, we've certainly been the leader in the U.S. economy and certainly the Michigan economy too. So Dan, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. Earlier when the pandemic started in March, April timeframe, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came out with some new COVID forbearance rules, which allowed homeowners to pause their mortgage payments for up to 12 months. So you know, it started off very high and then has been steadily declining and has leveled off a little bit on the overall forbearance. Those that have taken advantage of the forbearance rules. So some are saying as we get back to that March, April of 2021 timeframe, that we might see a spike in foreclosures, those that aren't able to pick up their payments again. So could you touch on any concerns about foreclosures going into next year?
At the moment, that we don't see any significant issues with foreclosures. Certainly next year, and probably for the next 18 months. It's true that forbearance percentages are up, and I guess you could take that forward and say that if every single person in forbearance at the moment loses their home and is foreclosed, that would cause a number of listings, properties to come on the market. And the biggest concern with forbearance is that a property or foreclosure home on the market might bring down the values of the surrounding homes. So it's that value effect that's the biggest concern in general for forbearance. But that doesn't look like that's likely. Equities are at record highs right now, home equities. Lending standards are still difficult or high, so people aren't getting loose mortgages like they were in the past recession. So there really aren't, and the economy is improving, and demand is increasing for housing. So all those things pushing forward is that even if there is an uptick in foreclosed properties or short sales, and it's likely there'll be a slight uptick, probably not in 21, maybe 22 or 23, but by that time the economy will have risen enough that it'll be a small footnote, not a significant conversation.
So taking out the possibility of foreclosures, what do you see for the pace of listings for next year?
We think the pace of listings will increase. We're seeing that now, and it's only a couple months, so it isn't, it takes more than just two and a half months to be officially a trend, but it's a mini trend at the moment that we're seeing the pace of new listings coming into the market rising. Now, the pace of sales is also going up, so therefore the net effect is inventories are still going down. But it is interesting to see that sellers are reacting. I think as the light at the end of the tunnel comes through for the pandemic and for vaccines, people relax. There are a number of people that don't have their homes in the market right now because they're uncertain either economically or from a health standpoint, whether they want to move or put their home on the market, go through the process. So I think that pent-up activity will be released. Values are up quite a bit. I think sellers are going to see that home values are up. So we expect throughout next year, it won't be an avalanche, but throughout next year and even into 22, a steady increase in available homes for sale. I think it'll still be a seller's market, but it will be less of it'll be moving more towards a neutral market for us over the time.
Larry, if I could just add to that,
Yeah.
The millennials, which are a big part of our market and are driving our market, we think will start to. They've been first-time home buyers, but starting as we get into next year, I think we'll see more and more of them become move-up home buyers. Therefore, they've got homes to sell. So I think we're going to start to see that huge generation of millennials start to be sellers as well. So I think that they'll impact listings as well.
That's a great point, Stuart. And then the other piece to that is the group behind the millennials, the Gen Z. Gen Z. They are buying at an earlier pace than the millennials did. So the millennials bought in that 29 to 32-year-old range, and the generation behind them are buying in that mid to upper 20 range. So I think the combination of those two could lead to some really significant opportunities for the real estate industry for sure.
Yeah, if you set aside economics and pandemics, which are significant, but you set those aside, just look at demographics. Demographically, housing is going to be strong, at least for the next 10 years, consistently. It should outpace the rest of the economy just by all that you've just talked about, supply and mainly demand.
Yeah, that's wonderful.